Russians ran out of patience regarding Israeli attacks in Syria. The Russian Defense Ministry issued two statements in response to Israeli airstrikes, indicating a change of the Russian position on the matter. A Russian source said that it was directly related to the talks between Putin and Biden last month. The Russian Defense Ministry issued two statements in response to Israeli airstrikes in Syria, indicating a change of the Russian positions on continuous attacks on Syrian sovereignty. The Asharq al-Awsat newspaper reported that there has been a change in the Russian position and that Moscow has run out of patience because Tel Aviv continues to ignore Russian calls to set clear rules. The Russians did not comment on Israeli attacks in the past, but they issued two statements in response to the recent attacks in Aleppo and at a site of Iranian forces in Al-Qusair. The deputy head of the Russian Reconciliation Center in Syria, Vadim Kolet, said that two Israeli F-16s launched four guided missiles from Lebanese airspace toward the area of the city of Homs, but the missiles were destroyed by a Syrian air defense system. A Russian source told the newspaper that the topic is directly related to the talks between Putin and Biden last month, and that Moscow received confirmation that Washington does not welcome the continuing Israeli attacks. The source claimed that IAF planes did not enter Syrian airspace, but rather attacked from neighboring countries, and that the attacks are not effective because big improvements have been made in the Syrian air defense network. The Russian source added that there are now open communication channels between Moscow and Washington, unlike the past when the lack of direct contact between the powers had complicated matters.
As all of you, I'm sure, waking up this morning and finding out 8.2 magnitude earthquake. Good morning, friends. Stephen Benoon here with Israeli News Live. And as all of you, I'm sure, waking up this morning, you're finding out 8.2 magnitude earthquake, 104 kilometers southeast of Perryville, Alaska. It's the strongest earthquake since 1965. The major quake took place back then. And in fact, nothing in the United States has compared to that since 1965. And then I sit there and think to myself how the USGS, they normally kind of downplay the true magnitude of earthquakes. So there could be something to be said about that as well. But I got a phone call early this morning from Sister Elizabeth letting me know about this quake that was going off. And so probably hearing about it as early as about 3 a.m. I forget exactly what, it looks like 3, let's see. Oh gosh, I don't know the exact time this morning this went off. But yes, it was very, very early. I found out about the quake. And then there was also the tsunami warnings. You had the buoys going off all around northern Alaska there, over across going towards Russia. There were tsunami warnings that were sounding and stuff. There were concerns that possibly a tsunami could even hit Hawaii. So we were seeing quite a few things like that were taking place. And and I've been trying this morning, and I've been up very early anyway, since about 6 a.m., looking to see if we were going to have any tsunami footage, anything like that. The tsunami warning was lifted. We did not end up seeing any tsunamis thus far of things that happened there. This particular video footage here, though, is of the quake in these people's house here. Their camera caught the quake. Thought it might be interesting for you just to see just how strong that quake is. And keep in mind, the quake is shaking the camera as well. But everything, camera falls down, everything. It is really, really rattling. I kind of wonder if the fish tank survived myself. I sit there and saw their fish tank in the right corner of the screen there. And couldn't help but wonder if that didn't survive there. This video footage here, posted on Twitter by Fabric, is another interesting one here. And let me kind of play some of the footage of this one here for you as well. Gentleman saw he's there on a boat there in Alaska, also showing a little bit of landslides that are happening as well.
We've got a rock slide suicide going on here. Wait for the aftershocks. Life in Chignik. The dust is still going off over here. The whole boat was shaking up and down.
That's interesting when you hear about a boat shaking, you know.
Yeah, that was probably close to an 8.7. Biggest one I've built. It was close.
That's interesting. The guy that made the video, it's got to be close to an 8 something and 8.2. So, no doubt he's been in an earthquake before, and like I said, you know, he's talking about that. By the way, that's the sirens there for tsunami warnings. There were mass evacuations all along the Alaska coastlines there. People that I did see videos where people were moving to higher ground, etc. You know, for fear of tsunamis coming in. And like I said, the buoys were going off as well. So let me just see if I can pull that back up for you real quick. I did have that too. There were the a lot of people are actually posting things about it so far, but there's one image right there showing you where that's at, like that key coming off of Alaska where that actually took place at, and let's see that buoy warnings there. Nope. Let's see here. Find any video footage whatsoever or any news clip or anything of tsunamis actually hitting. So if they did, and that's if they did, they must have been fairly moderate, not enough really for anyone to notice. Because even under the latest everything, you don't show, it doesn't show anything. So, and I've seen all this video footage here. Anyway, there's some things that I have been working on. We've got a situation going on over in Israel and with Russia, Israel, Syria, Iran, and definitely keep in mind. This is one thing. Since we're talking about earthquakes, let me share this video footage here. Oh no, this was actually a meteorite, something I was looking for. We did get quite a few of these. This one's over Texas there on the screen right there. That's kind of interesting. They're starting to pop back up again. And if you remember, I told you earlier this year we'd see another shower of these meteorites getting closer to August, September time frame. We'd start seeing them also too with more sonic booms. Still nothing major, nothing like that, but just with some sonic booms there. I have this kind of little screen there. You can read that for yourself. Pause it, come back to it. But these are part of the managed players. When I say managed, world leaders: Russia, Syria, Iran, Israel. All these countries here, all 4 of these countries, are managed for the same end game. They're working their way up to build the tensions for a war that will take place, from what I'm hearing, sometime in 2024, with Iran initiating the first attack. But in between that time, Russia has got to step up and act as if they're going to really stand with Iran now. So you're going to start seeing that posturing more and more. This is why Russia recently used its own defensive missile system inside of Syria to protect Iran and Syria from Israeli attacks. And so that's, like I said, it's all part of the posturing. It's one reason why we can kind of tell you some of these things even before they take place, just like Taiwan. I've been saying about Taiwan now for several months that China is going to take Taiwan this year. That's what we've been told thus far. And then I have to go back and find it out. Like I said, I'm working on this still. A friend of mine sent me some footage, photographic footage anyway, and I think maybe some video, I'm not sure, of Taiwan building up a massive presence, China building up a massive presence of military ships and things preparing for that offensive now. So now we're going to start seeing that take place next. And they're supposed to do that sometime this year. So things are going to just escalate over, getting greater and greater with the different countries as the elite manage who's supposed to do what next, when, and that type of scenario there.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X News. It is July 29th, 2021. Folks, you may or may not have heard that there was a magnitude 8.2 earthquake that struck just off of the coast of Alaska. Now, there was a tsunami warning issued for this earthquake. However, I've just checked a few minutes ago and these tsunami warnings were lifted. As you can see in this news article, it says the magnitude 8.2 earthquake that struck off the coast of Alaska triggered a tsunami watch in Hawaii and a warning that waves may be felt as far as Australia. Now, I've been
places are getting hit. You know, I see a little news clip about a place, and then the next day I see, okay, it got hit a lot worse than I realized. Utah.
Yeah, good morning, Carrie and Dan. First, let me show you what people lost. I'm going to step down here. These are the basement apartments here at University West Apartments. And this whole area is where the water came down yesterday. It has gone down quite a bit. It's really not that deep, but look at this right here. This is the line where that water came up, which is, I'm 5'6" and a half, that's taller than me. So anybody who was in these basement apartments, they could not stay and they had to escape to get out. And some people told me they were crawling through windows to get out because the water rushed in and was breaking open these doors. One person said that she was inside her apartment. The water actually knocked her over and she got out with just her pajamas, didn't even have shoes on. Now, when we got here last night, we have some video that shows you that cleanup. We got here, just dozens of people were out here. They had cleared out these apartments and people were bringing food. They were bringing, water. They were playing music, and they were definitely trying to be in as good a spirits as they could be in this situation. And one mother says her daughter and son-in-law, they were at work, so they actually found out about the flooding that was happening and couldn't even get out here to look at it. So the entire family drove down from Fillmore to help out. They said that while one of the volunteers was going through the apartment, which was completely destroyed, trying to salvage what they could, they found something that is now bringing them hope.
There was a young man who was helping to pump out her apartment before she even got here, and he found her wedding ring.
Well, guys, right now, look at that picture. I've got chills up here flying. She just went underwater right before we came on the air. She has 3 rescuers here that had thrown her a rope, and they're trying to pull her out of these trees, but the current is so strong. She went underwater, ended up with clinging onto this tree right here. So we don't know if this is fire department personnel or just citizens out here trying to help this lady. This is 178th and Council, guys. So the water, of course, we've been covering all day, but the water is rushing everywhere. So right now, got a dramatic rescue going on 178th and Council, guys.
Mason, I love your shot. It's nice and close here, but as you look around with your naked eye, oh no.
I thought it was Arizona. It's Oklahoma. Oh my God. This just happened yesterday. Look at this flooding. Oh God. Oklahomans, what's going on in Oklahoma? Oh my God. Wow. Well, Michigan. 4 counties in Michigan hit by tornadoes.
Yes, I'm live right now in front of Ginger and Thomas Tubbs' house. Thomas was home watching TV when the storm hit and trees fell all around the house. He found himself trapped. He couldn't get out of his garage door, couldn't get out of his front door. What really struck me as we drove around this neighborhood taking a look at damage like this is just how much there was and how fast this storm happened. The National Weather Service says the twister lasted for about 3 minutes. The National Weather Service says the tornado touched down at 7:54 p.m. just west of the intersection of Tegradyne and Pontiac Lake Roads. It began as an EF0 storm, uprooting healthy trees, about 30 of them, in Harvey Blizzak's 5-acre yard.
It just started coming down right in here. I think we were the beginning of it.
The 85-year-old spent the day cleaning up the mess log by log. He says he needed fuel for his wood burning.
It is truly amazing, this weather that comes out of nowhere. This is really manifesting a lot of chaos all over, not just this country, but all over the world. This Arizona, a dust storm in Phoenix, a wall of dust.
Damn.
You have the monsoon, then you have a wall of dust. Wow. Another hot one here in Montana.
Yeah, that's Phoenix. It's crazy.
Oh boy. And again, I'm going to say the air smelled horrible. The fires, bootleg fire. The town finds nothing left.
Nothing left.
The Bootleg Fire, one of more than 80 active wildfires that have charred about 1.3 million acres in recent weeks, has ravaged the southern Oregon community of Sicken Estates, leaving behind a trail of ash-covered debris. Residents like Gage Clark, who evacuated ahead of the wildfire, returned to their community only to find their homes and businesses gone, their possessions destroyed.
I thought I still had my sawmill shop and possibly this shop. So I came back thinking that I still had something to come home to. And when I got here, I was actually kind of gut shot, and there's knots in the stomach and, nothing left.
Local news reports said the fire had decimated 112 homes and 169 outbuildings. The Bootleg Fire is Oregon's third largest wildfire on records dating back to 1900. Located about 250 miles south of Portland, the fire had ripped through more than 400,000 acres of drought-parched brush and timber as of Friday, destroying at least 67 homes near the California border. At its peak, an estimated 2,000 people were displaced by evacuations.
We just got to try to band together as a community and...
to this video if you've not seen it. But what will you be seeing? You know, a lot of hail destruction in Italy. Oh, but Italy was hit also with massive flooding. And landslides, and roads crumbling.